person or county executive and entrusted to monitor renovations and additions to our Baltimore County historic resources. We review and approve nominations to the Baltimore County preliminary landmarks list and comment on National Register nominations. Additionally, we review exterior alterations and developments impacting county historic districts and county landmarks. And we are charged with evaluating submissions to the Baltimore County Historic Tax Credit Program. Would the commissioners please introduce themselves by name and county council district for representation? We can go in order, which is listed on the PowerPoint screen.
Rob Brennan, District 1.
Phoebe Evans Latosha, executive appointment.
John Holman, Council District 5.
Scott here.
Nope, no Scott. Ed.
Ed Horde. I'm an executive appointment.
Vince. Vince, I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Vince Johnson, District 1.
Mitch Kelman, executive appointment.
Andy McIver, District 3.
Steve Meyer, executive appointment.
No Faith. Marina.
Ladina Novaes, executive appointment.
Ray Scott, District 7.
No Katub. Chris.
Chris Weston, District 2.
And that's everybody.
Thank you all. Now, please stand as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag.
Flag.
United States.
United States of America.
And to the republic.
To the republic for which it stands, one nation,
And
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For all.
The Landmarks Preservation Commission operates under the authority, standards, and requirements of Title VII, Article 32 of the Baltimore County Code. We refer to the United States Secretary of the Interior Standards for Rehabilitation as administered by the National Park Service. This is the accepted national standard for historic preservation projects. Our own Baltimore County Historic Preservation Design Guidelines directly reference and incorporate the Secretary of the Interior's standards for rehabilitation. We have important preservation issues to discuss and debate at each meeting. If you would like to make comments, please limit your comments to the specific preservation submission being reviewed. We ask for your assistance and understanding so that the discussions do not digress. As an additional comment, we can all agree that historic preservation is an important aspect of the quality of life and place that makes Baltimore County unique. As a commission, we seek to recommend significant buildings and places for landmark consideration to the County Council for their final vote. As commissioners, we serve on the commission due to our expertise, interest, and passion for historic buildings and places and review submissions based solely on their merit. While we may disagree in discussion and voting, we continue to be a collegial body that respects each other personally and professionally. I believe, are there any reminders for virtual meetings that are offered by staff?
Yes. So just a reminder for folks that are attending the meeting, if you would like to offer comments during the meeting, you can either use the chat feature. Please select the host button, type your comments, and please include your name, the agenda item you're commenting on, and your relation to the property or the project. You can also use the hand raise button, and that'll alert the host that you would like to speak. If we notice that you're online, a representative, we will unmute you when your project is up. But if you would like to do so during the meeting, just feel free to chime in and let us know.
Thank you for that. Taylor, can you inform the members of the commission if there are any changes to the preliminary agenda?
Yes, there are no changes to the preliminary agenda.
Thank you.
Mitch,
Yes.
Mitch, if I may I interrupt for a moment, please? This is Steve Lafferty.
Hi, Steve.
Sorry I didn't jump on quickly enough tonight. I just wanted to say hello to you and the other members of the Landmarks Preservation Commission as the fairly new Director of Planning. And I fortunately know a number of you. I just wanted to, again, thank you for your service as volunteers, because without your engagement and work, we couldn't do ours. And what you're engaged in is so important for a county as old and as steeped in history as we are. You play a very critical role. So thank you for just giving me a moment to say hello to everybody, and I look forward to working with you going forward.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you for introducing yourself.
Yes, 1 second. Sorry, Mitch. Yes, so
okay.
that's Steve Lafferty. He is our new director. And Miss Amy Mante, who is our new deputy director, is also online. If you can see her. But just so you know, we do have a new director and deputy director. They're both here with us tonight. So is Jen Nugent. So we have a full house. We're happy to have it. Amy, if you want to say anything, go ahead.
Nope. Thank you for having me.
Of course. All right, Mitch, now we can carry on.
Okay, thank you for joining in. I think our next item is, are there any proposed changes to the minutes of the last meeting? No changes?
Nope.
Okay, and assuming that all of the commission members have read the minutes, are there any comments or discussion?
I move we approve the minutes. I second it.
Okay, so we have a second. Would you like to do roll call? Want to vote?
No, who was our second?
Steve.
Perfect, thank you. Nope, we can just do a all in favor vote.
Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
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 Any against? Looks like the motion passes. Thank you. We have, on to the next item, we have 3 consent agenda items, 5, 6, and 8. Taylor, could you explain the consent agenda items and give staff recommendations?
Yes, agenda item number 5. This is the Shapiro property at 5 Watt Avenue in Glendon. It's County Council District number 3. It's a non-contributing structure in the Glendon County Historic District, and the homeowners are proposing installation of a wooden space picket fence in the side yard and a 3-board wooden paddock fence near the rear property line to finish enclosing the backyard. As a note, staff did learn last Thursday that this should have been an ex post facto request. It was already completed. However, staff's recommendation remains the same, which is why we didn't pull it from the consent agenda. Our recommendation is to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Fences and Landscape, page 4, and County Code section 327403. Agenda item number 6 is the Bubnash property at 14 Chatsworth Avenue in Glendon. It's County Council District number 3. It's a contributing structure in the Glendon County Historic District, MIP number BA737. They're proposing to install a Mount Vernon picket wooden fence to enclose their rear yard. Staff's recommendation is to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Fences and Landscape, page 4, County Code section 327403. And the final consent agenda item is agenda item number 8, the Provencher property at 117 Central Avenue in Glendon. This is County Council District number 2. It's a contributing structure in the Glendon County Historic District, MIP number BA779. They're seeking Part 2 approval for the in-kind repair and replacement of heart pine hardwood floors as necessary and then refinishing, the in-kind repair and replacement of wood soffits and fascia, in-kind repairs of wooden porch framing, and the in-kind replacement of water-damaged cedar shingles. Staff's recommendation is to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness, citing National Park Service Technical Preservation Services, Preservation Brief 18, Rehabilitating Interiors in Historic Buildings, Identifying and Preserving Character-Defining Elements, the Secretary of the Interior standards for the treatment of historic properties with guidelines for preserving, rehabilitating, restoring, and reconstructing historic buildings, interior spaces, features, and finishes, page 60, and the Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, roofs, page 10, porches and steps, pages 2 and 3, facade materials, page 2, and County Code section 112201.
Thank you, Taylor. Is there anybody present who, including the commission members, who would like to speak against the approval of these consent agenda items?
Yes, this is Rob. I think we could have a brief discussion about number 4, the first one.
Number 4 is not a consent agenda. Do you mean number 5? The
Number
button
5, I'm sorry, number 5, yes.
The fence?
Yes.
Sounds good. Would you like to pull that one from the agenda?
Yes, but not about the fence, about the gazebo in the front yard. Just as I don't think we had seen that. It looks to be a recent construction.
Okay, sounds good. We will pull that one from the consent agenda and discuss it further. Is there anyone that would like to discuss any of the other ones or would like to pull in any of the other items?
If no one is speaking against, is there a motion to approve items 6 and 8?
I move that we approve items 6 and 8 on the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Would you like to take a roll call on this, or? Since
Go
there's
ahead, you
nobody-
guys can just do an all in favor.
Okay, all in favor of approving 6 and 8?
Aye.
Any nays? Looks like the motion carries. Thank you.
Perfect. Moving on, agenda item number 4. This is the O'Hara property, 1603 South Rolling Road in Relay. It's County Council District number 1, contributing structure in the Relay County Historic District, MIP number BA2508. This is part 2 approval for plumbing installation, HVAC installation, floor and floor joist replacements for the kitchen addition, repairs and reconstructions for the porch, porch columns, porch decking and steps, reconstruction of the well house and breezeway, and reconstruction of a missing historic cupola. This is a lot of comments, so follow along, please. Item 1 is seeking approval for interior and exterior renovations to restore the dwelling at 1603 South Rolling Road, also known as Beaumont. The house is situated in the center of just over a 5-acre lot and is accessed by a long tree-lined paved driveway off of South Rolling Road. The driveway entrance on South Rolling Road is flanked with 2 brick piers with a metal gate, and the driveway has a gradual incline which provides idyllic views of Beaumont from the street. The property is relatively flat, and there are 2 frame outbuildings located off the north corners of the house. The house itself is a 2.5-story frame dwelling constructed circa 1858 to 1860. It is 3 bays wide and 2 bays deep with a 1.5-story board and batten addition off its east corner. It has a steeply pitched gable asphalt roof with center cross gables on the front and rear slopes. There are double brick interior and chimneys topped with clay pots. It is unknown if the current aluminum siding is covering any openings. A majority of the windows appear to be 4/4 wood sashes flanked by wood louvered shutters. The house is covered in aluminum lapped siding, but likely originally had either wood clapboard or board and batten siding. A 1-story full-width porch is located on the primary elevation. The property has an interesting history. It was once part of a larger tract known as Lesby's Lot and was formerly owned by Samuel Sutton. The structure was first seen on this property in the 1858 Baltimore County Atlas and appears under the name William Corman. The structure is also present on an 1861 military map of Baltimore County. The Union Army guarding Thomas Viaduct is said to have camped on the grounds of Beaumont, and previous owners have reported discovering artifacts, and there are reports that bodies of Union soldiers were laid to rest in the National Cemetery in the later years. Because of this, this property would be an excellent candidate for archaeological research should the homeowner be interested in that in the future. On January 11, staff approved emergency electrical work following concerns from the homeowner regarding dimming and flickering lights due to frayed and shorting wires, open tube wiring, and loose connections. Shutting down the power was not an option due to the need to keep an existing pump running, and staff did not want to see the property subject to an electrical fire or flooding and approved the application. The work the homeowner would like to do now is to restore the structure for residency and has broken the work into various phases. Phase 1 was the electrical work, which staff has already approved, and phase 2, up for review at this time, includes plumbing, HVAC, the kitchen floor, the porch, the well house and breezeway, and the historic cupola. Work included in phase 3 will be submitted at a later meeting. Work item 1 is the plumbing installation. The homeowner would like to install new plumbing in the home per the All Right Heating and Plumbing proposal. The existing plumbing is deteriorated, corroded, missing, and non-functioning depending on the room and location. The existing plumbing is a mix of CPVC, galvanized copper piping, and braided supply lines. For the homeowner, the mix appears to be repair work that has taken place over the years. Most of the bathrooms are non-existent, with a mix of piping that is only visible at termination. The plumbing in the kitchen has been removed, leaving one non-functioning sink. Previous homeowner repairs were not to code, and the system is deteriorated beyond repair. For a plumbing inspection, the sewer lines are fractured in various locations. The homeowner provided one photo showing the age and extent of the damage. However, other main lines are not visible by photos. The main drain that runs through the center of the home will not be salvaged during this full renovation due to severe corrosion. The hot water was once supplied by a boiler. However, it is in significant disrepair and proposed for replacement. The homeowner is proposing to remove the remaining plumbing and replace the existing plumbing, water supply, and sewer lines, as well as have a brand new standalone gas water heater installed. Overall, the work is consistent with the design guidelines and the requirements on replacing plumbing and will allow the dwelling to be lived in. The new pipe should be installed in the same location as the original, and as a note, the tax credit does not include the cost of any new fixtures like shower heads, faucet, toilets, or bathtubs, and this has been communicated to the homeowner. Work item number 2 is the HVAC installation. The existing oil-fired boiler is completely damaged and non-functioning. It is unknown if the house was originally heated by a fireplace, potbelly stoves, and cross-ventilation radiation, or a combination of both. Cast iron piping system was probably installed the turn of the century and may be approximately 120 years old or greater. The existing system sets in the center of the kitchen. Piping below the existing unit is extremely rusted from constant humidity due to a natural spring that runs in the basement space and beneath the kitchen. And with the extent of the corrosion and non-use, the system was probably sitting with water over the years, and once pipes were frozen then are now drained due to cracks and fractures throughout. The damaged system cannot run or press up to test since it is destroyed and missing pipes and radiators. The house has no heat, and the extent of the damage does not justify the repair or replacement of the boiler system. The homeowner is proposing to remove the boiler system and install 2 3-ton gas HVAC systems. Any piping from the boiler that poses an interference with the HVAC system will be removed. One unit will service the 2nd and 3rd floors, and the other will service the main level and kitchen addition in the rear of the home. The proposal is consistent with the National Park Service requirements as proposed. Work item number 3 is the floor and floor joist replacements for the kitchen addition. The construction of the main home is approximately 160 years old, and the attached kitchen appears to have been added at a later date, likely 120 to 130 years ago. Per the homeowner, the kitchen is approximately 15 feet by 24 feet, and the homeowner would like to replace the floor. The kitchen flooring and joists appear to be the original milled lumber and plank flooring, which has been replaced in other rooms of the home. In the basement, the kitchen joists, beams, and flooring were found to be rotted to the point that the floor needs to be reinforced with makeshift columns. The deterioration is a result of mold, water rot, and termite damage. The homeowner is proposing to remove all of the joists, one center support beam, and the existing flooring. The joist will be replaced with pressure-treated 2x10s, the beam with a single center LVL beam, and the floor with a 1.5-inch plywood sheathing. The 1/2-inch plywood sheathing is proposed because the kitchen will be further refurbished with ceramic tile flooring. However, that work item will not be tax credit eligible as it will be primarily remodeling. Because this work item primarily focuses on the structural support of the flooring and is not cosmetic updates, it is eligible for the program. The National Park Service and staff recommends weakened structural members such as flooring framing that are extensively deteriorated or missing be replaced in kind. Consequently, staff recommends the proposal be supported in order to preserve the flooring and keep the floor from caving in. Work item number 4, repairs and reconstruction of the porch, porch columns, porch decking, and steps. The porch currently on the front of the home is likely original to the home and is in need of restoration due to significant deterioration as documented in photos provided by the homeowner. On the existing porch, most of the observed materials are wood. The decking is a 2.5 to 3-inch tongue and groove decking planks that are rotted along the entire length of the porch with various missing pieces and holes. The joists and band boards are also deteriorating, missing, and structurally weak. The porch columns are wood with a center structural supporting 4x4 post. It is wrapped with an approximately 12 by 12 square, non-structural, non-tapered, recessed panel column that has standard capital and base system. The wood covering the post is deteriorated to the point that the decorative base and panels are missing in various spots. The steps are also wood and are deteriorated beyond repair due to rotten wood and partially missing treads, risers, and stingers. The soffits, fascia, and trim are in repairable condition. The homeowner is proposing to repair and reconstruct the historic porch as needed. The structural joists and band boards are proposed to be replaced with pressure-treated wood. The decking is proposed to be replaced by 1x6 tongue and groove composite. The columns are proposed for replacement. The 4x4 structural columns are proposed to be replaced in kind with pressure-treated wood, and the 12x12 square wrapping posts are proposed to be replaced with a composite material, either AZEK or primed pine silex, to match the existing style. The homeowner is proposing to wrap the band board with weather-resistant PVC planking. The porch steps are proposed to be reconstructed with a 10-foot wide step with 5 to 6 riser treads and new stringers, with the sides and rises made of PVC to withstand wear and weather. The lattice on the crawl spaces and the trim is proposed to be replaced in kind. The columns, soffits, fascia, and trim are proposed to be painted. Information on the materials proposed is included in the meeting materials. The roofing components are proposed to remain in place and be scraped and painted as necessary. The Baltimore County Historic Tax Credit Program is designed to assist with rehabilitation costs, not new construction. When a historic feature is repaired or replaced in kind, these costs are often tax credit eligible. While a composite material does not match the original, staff is in support of its use, not PVC or vinyl, however, for the porch decking, with the understanding that this would not be tax credit eligible. Since this is a high traffic area and it isn't highly visible when looking at the front of the home from the driveway, staff understands the desire to not have to replace the wooden porch routinely. Staff recommends that the material accurately match the appearance of the original wooden decking as best as possible in order to not alter the character defining porch. Regarding the porch columns, staff recommends the replacement in kind. Both the 4x4 support columns and the 12x12 square wrapping post should be replaced with wood in order to maintain the historic significance and remain in keeping with the historic design guidelines and the National Park Service Preservation Brief on preserving historic wood porches and past commission approvals. The band board should be wrapped in a composite material, not PVC, to remain consistent with past commission approvals. Regarding the porch steps, because they are not being reconstructed to match the original construction, staff recommends this proposal not be tax credit eligible. Regarding the materials, staff recommends the use of a composite material similar to the porch decking rather than the use of PVC in order to remain consistent with the porch and the design guidelines. The scraping and repainting of the porching components is consistent with the design guidelines as proposed, and staff recommends approval. Work item number 5, the reconstruction of the well house and breezeway. The well house and breezeway are in significant disrepair and are in needing to be reconstructed as they are beyond salvaging. This is documented in photos provided by the applicant. They are likely 130 to 160 years old and were likely constructed at the same time as the primary structure or the kitchen addition. The homeowner is proposing to rebuild these structures using pressure-treated pine, plywood roof sheathing, and a 50-year architectural shingles to match the primary structure. The siding for the well house is proposed to be aluminum to match the existing. The structure is proposed to have an 8-pane wooden window to match the existing. Per Standard 6 of the Secretary of the Interior Standards for Rehabilitation, where the severity of deterioration requires replacement of a distinctive feature, the new feature shall match the old in design, color, texture, and other visual qualities, and where possible, materials. Staff agrees that the well house and breezeway are dilapidated beyond repair and are in need of reconstruction. However, concerns have been raised that reconstruction will not match the existing since detailed plans showing each side of the proposed structure were not submitted. Staff recommends the tabling of this work item until the elevation drawings are submitted to show the other 3 sides of the structure. So long as the structure will match the existing, staff recommends the approval of this work and its tax credit eligibility. Finally, work item number 6, the reconstruction of a missing historic cupola. The final proposal included in phase 2 is the reconstruction of a missing historic cupola. The cupola is seen in the historic photographs of the home and sat towards the center of the home. For a neighbor, the cupola was blown off the home during a storm and the structure was re-roofed without it. Based on the photographs, the cupola appears to be 8 feet in height and topped with a 6-foot classic Victorian style roof peak. Each elevation of the cupola has an arched window, which matches the windows on the existing dwelling, and 4 evenly spaced corbels. The homeowner is proposing to reconstruct the cupola to match the existing to the extent possible. The proposed work is to use 2x6 pine for the framing and then anchor the cupola to the existing framing using hurricane strapping. The cupola will be covered with plywood and sided with aluminum siding to match the rest of the home. When completed, the cupola will be a 10 by 10 square, approximately 8 feet in height. One custom-built 18-inch by 60-inch arched wood frame window will be placed in the center of each side of the cupola to match the historic photograph. The roof is proposed to be constructed on the ground and then using a crane attached to the cupola and secured with hurricane strapping. It is proposed to be a 50-year architectural shingle roof to match the home, well house, and breezeway. As a note, the roof replacement for the primary structure is not proposed at this time, but it will be included in phase 3. 4 corbels, which information is provided on in the meeting materials, will be installed on each elevation for a total of 16. The homeowner is proposing that they be wood or PVC. Overall, the proposal is consistent with the Secretary of the Interior standards, specifically Standard 6. The placement of missing features shall be substantiated by documentary, physical, or pictorial evidence. The proposal is consistent with and matches the historic photographs very closely, and staff is thrilled to see the cupola added back to the structure for its restoration to its historic appearance. Staff recommends the cupola be supported with the condition the corbels be wood, fiberglass, or wood composite material. Due to the location of the corbels, they are not highly visible from the ground, and regular maintenance of any wood would be difficult. A fiberglass or wood composite material would be more durable and lower maintenance than wood, but a higher quality than PVC. PVC would not be historically appropriate, and in order to remain tax credit eligible, appropriate materials must be used to the extent possible. Staff's recommendation for this complete proposal is to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the installation of the new plumbing with the condition all pipes be installed in the same location as the original to the extent possible. Vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the HVAC installation as proposed. Vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the kitchen floor, floor joist, and structural support beam replacements as proposed. Vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the repairs and reconstruction of the porch, porch columns, porch decking, and rebuild of the steps with the conditions that 1, the porch decking be a 2.5 to 3-inch tongue and groove composite material to match the existing style, with the understanding that this work item is not tax credit eligible. 2, the porch columns be replaced in kind 4x4 wooden structural support and 12x12 wooden wrapping posts to match the existing in style, size, material, and be tax credit eligible. 3, the bandboard be wrapped with a composite material, not PVC, and be tax credit eligible. And 4, the steps be rebuilt as proposed with the understanding that they are not tax credit eligible. Continuing on, vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the scraping and repainting of the roofing components as proposed. Table the proposal for the well house and breezeway construction pending the submission of detailed elevation drawings of the remaining 3 sides. Vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the cupola reconstruction with the condition the corbels be wood, fiberglass, or wood composite material. All of this is citing National Park Service, Technical Preservation Services, Preservation Brief 18, Rehabilitating Interiors in Historic Buildings, Identifying and Preserving Character-Defining Elements, National Park Service, Technical Preservation Services, Preservation Brief 24, Heating, Ventilating, and Cooling Historic Buildings, Problems and Recommended Approaches, the Secretary of the Interior standards for the treatment of historic properties with guidelines for preserving, rehabilitating, restoring, and reconstructing historic buildings, structural systems, page 57, and interior spaces, features, and finishes, page 60. National Park Service, Technical Preservation Services, Preservation Brief 45, preserving historic wood porches. The Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation, standard 6. Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, windows and doors, page 3. Porches and steps, page 3, additions and infills, pages 1 and 7, and County Code Section 327403 and 112201.
Wow, thank you for that. There's some description. Do we have the owner or owner's representation here tonight?
Yes, Mr. O'Hara is online, and I will unmute you so you can address the commission. You're unmuted, Mr. O'Hara.
Okay, I'm online.
Mr. O'Hara? Yes, how are you this evening?
Great, sir. How are you?
Welcome to the meeting. Would you like to explain or give comment or give a summary of what?
Was I wrote, and it's an extensive property. I can't wait to get started on it. And what accept it as my proposal. So I don't really have any other questions.
Thank you. Thank you for adding that, and we appreciate the work you're putting in to this property and improvement. Would the commission members like to comment?
I'll comment. The homeowner should be commended for this undertaking. It's a significant project, and I really commend you for endeavoring to do this. I will say that there seems to be a lot of structural work involved, and if you haven't already consulted a structural engineer, I do recommend that you do, and that will be part of the permitting process, that you'll have to submit that work with it. And I also have a comment about preservation brief 45, which is cited as part of the work. It says that the specific section that has to do with the use of composites versus plastics says that composites should be used because they are routable and to match the appearance of the historic item. But if the historic item is smooth, I don't know why we wouldn't approve PVC, especially from a distance, because when painted, that's going to look identical. Really, you're talking about just two different types of plastics. One is PVC and the other is HDPE with sawdust mixed in it. So I don't know why we're drawing a line of one plastic versus another if they both appear the same when painted. That's a discussion for another time. So those are my comments.
Thank you, Chris. Is there anybody else?
Mr. O'Hara, this is Rob Brennan. I believe we've reviewed a nearby house of yours in the past year. Are you the same homeowner?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you intend to occupy this house as your own personal property?
I have a family that I intend to have.
Okay, great. It's a beautiful structure. I've noticed it for decades driving through Relay. I live nearby in Catonsville. I guess the whole thing about PVC is that it's, you know, from a sustainability aspect, it's a nasty material that has terrible off-gassing in its manufacture, and you know, just eaten away at the ozone layer over the years. So anything other than PVC, it's not a historic basis, but would be preferable in my opinion. Also, the corbels actually look more like brackets that you had shown us. There might be something more subtler. It appears the original corbels on that cupola maybe didn't have any cutouts in it and were more of a solid piece. Hard to really see, but the ones on just something to note. It might not be so much a bracket.
I can comment on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have listing for corbels or And
Didn't quite get all of that, but
match closely to the ones that exist now.
okay. Well, that's the intent, so sure. If
So I chose the style that is attached because the existing corbels or brackets that are on the house today, they match closest to the existing. I do appreciate that I wouldn't have to replace them with wooden corbels on the cupola because it is a high structure. It would be hard to maintain those. But there's evidence around those pitched gables in the front where there was probably corbels that wrapped the entire eaves of the the soffit around all of those peaks and roof lines.
yes. Okay. Well,
So that would be in the next phase to
Okay.
replace those corbels or brackets around the entire perimeter of the roofing system. And like I said, the only evidence I have of what was there or what I would like to propose is what was there now. So I can send some pictures of the existing
that'd be great. Yeah,
corbels.
that'd be great to see.
Sure.
Also, on that cupola, that's a rather massive element that didn't survive due to a storm, perhaps. But I don't know what's holding that up there. But as Mr. Weston mentioned, a structural engineer would be a good investment to make sure that stays in place again. And then there was talk of the HVAC, the system. I didn't see air conditioning mentioned. Is that part of your proposal as well?
Yes, it is. In HVAC is heating, ventilation, air conditioning. So I do intend to have air conditioning in the unit.
Okay, so the heating and air conditioning is a forced air system. It's not a hot water pipe system.
That's correct.
Okay. Very good. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Rob. Any other commission members?
I have a question. I'm unclear as to, you're talking about when you're reconstructing the well house, you're talking about doing it with aluminum siding. I would urge you are you covering the existing board and batten addition with aluminum siding as well?
That is no, and I thought about that when I made the proposal. So I didn't know structurally how the board and batten would turn out. So I only proposed that to match the house as opposed to the kitchen area. If it's something that is that can wet, and I wouldn't be opposed to doing it like that and having it match because that's what exists now.
Well, it's been there for some good long period of time. So board and batten I have it on my house and it's 25 years old and it's just like new. I mean, it's done with cedar, a rough cut cedar, and it's has a opaque stain on it, but it's not a problem. And I think it seems like it would be appropriate because it's sort of closer to to that addition, and it was probably, I would bet that it was built when that addition was built, which was probably the turn of the century. So it's probably been there 120 years.
Right.
So I think I think it can stand up if you use a good quality wood.
Okay. Yeah, I would not be opposed to that.
Okay, that's my only comment. And please don't use PVC.
No, I was questioning that, and I completely understand the environmental impact that material has in general. So I'm not opposed to keeping it, for a environmentally friendly material.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Ed. Is there any further discussion? Doesn't seem like it. Would anybody like to try to take a motion?
I'll make a motion. We'll move to approve the certificate of appropriateness for the work that is itemized by staff. This is for the plumbing for the HVAC.
Hey, Steve, if I can interrupt real quick, you sound a little muffled. And I don't know if it's just me on my end or whether it's everybody else that may be having a.
I can't hear him.
I think we had some feedback from someone that was not muted, but I think we're all good now.
Okay. All right, let's, again, I'd like to follow the staff's recommendation. Propose and issue certificate of appropriateness for the work that's being proposed for the plumbing, the HVAC, the kitchen floor and structure underneath, the exterior porch, including the step system, stairs, treads, risers. Let's see, and the work on the row house and the rebuilding of the cupola on the roof, and following up, finishing up with painting all wood exterior.
I second that.
There's a second. Would you like to?
Sorry, who was our second?
John Holman.
John, perfect. And yes, we'll just do a voice vote just to make sure we get everyone. So I will go ahead and call roll. And if you could just unmute yourself and say, yes, you're in favor, or no, you're not in favor. Ready?
Can I make a friendly amendment to that, to the motion, to add two things that were mentioned by other members? One is to engage a structural engineer. I think you really need it. And two is that we're tabling the well house in case that I couldn't understand what Steve was saying. So I just want to reiterate, we're tabling the well house, not approving it.
Okay,
Thank you, Ed.
very good. So amended.
Is everybody okay with the amendment?
Well, I'm not clear. It's an amendment of requiring a structural engineer or just some free advice that's given.
Suggesting it.
Yeah, so I don't think it requires an amendment. It's just free advice.
I'd like to have it in the record.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When it falls down, if he doesn't do it, I'd like to say, we told you to do it.
Yeah, this is on
We
the record.
suggested it.
Yep, agreed.
Okay, any further discussion before we do a vote? Okay, great. Chris,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Marina,
Yes.
Mitch,
Yes?
Phoebe? Phoebe, I think you're muted.
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Ray,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Scott, Steve, Vince,
Yes.
and Wendy.
Yes.
Perfect. Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Yep.
And
Thank you for-
Mr. O'Hara, staff will be in touch tomorrow. We'll give you a rundown of everything that was approved, just so that you have it for your records. All right.
Thank you for attending, Mr. O'Hara. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having.
Okay, Moving on, we have agenda item number 5. This is the one that was pulled from the consent agenda. As a reminder, it's the Shapiro property at 5 Waugh Avenue in Glendon. It's County Council District number 3, a non-contributing structure in the Glendon County Historic District, and they were seeking approval for the installation of a wooden space picket fence in the side yard and a 3-board wooden paddock fence near the rear property line to finish enclosing the backyard. As mentioned earlier, this has already been constructed. Staff's recommendation for the fence was to issue a certificate of appropriateness, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, Fences and Landscape, page 4, and County Code section 327403. But I know there was some concerns about the gazebo.
Yes,
So I'll turn it over to
this
you.
is Rob. My concern, there was another photograph in the package, I think, from the rear that showed what appeared to be a relatively new deck as well. And there's this, what appears to be a deck structure and gazebo in the front yard. And from what I know of zoning requirements, that is not allowed unless there was a variance. And I certainly don't know, I don't believe we saw this. It did not come before us, and I've been on the commission for 12 years.
So I did just pull up a Google Street View of the property, and it looks like there was a gazebo, but what's there now is different. The gazebo before, like the enclosing part, where now it's just kind of the straight columns, it looked like it had some sort of like cross design in it. So we can have Hunter go out. Hunter's a code enforcement inspector. We can have him go out and we can figure out what happened and why this didn't come before you guys, because if they had replaced the boards in kind, we wouldn't have a problem with it. But since there's a change in the actual design of it, that should have come in. So we'll at least get to the bottom of it.
Okay, that's fine. Just duly noted. Just wanted it to be made aware.
Rob, just
I think it should also be duly noted that Rob is possessed of an incredible memory. That's a remarkable catch, Rob.
Rob, I was going to ask you on that. You said that the gazebo would require a variance.
Sure, you can't have structures in your front yard that aren't part of the house.
Yeah, my question is, from the photo, I don't know whether this looks connected or not. And does this look connected?
I would say it's not connected, but
okay.
I'm surprised the neighbors or the Glendon group haven't said something about it.
Yeah, I have the bigger picture up on a separate screen, and it does look like the deck, wraps around and connects to the gazebo from that bigger, blow up of it that I'm seeing.
I do know that to be considered a porch, it has to actually connect. The roof has to connect to the house, and
yeah, that part doesn't look
right.
like the roof is connecting. You're right on that, but the deck seems like it's continuous.
Well, rather than speculate, maybe we let the inspector, code enforcement inspector, look at it and go out there and see what's going on.
Very good.
Yep.
But I guess we can approve the fence after the fact. I think you said they also went ahead and installed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they when the agenda went live, I got a call from a neighbor saying, "Are you sure this isn't supposed to be an ex post facto request?" To which I said, "Why do you think that?" And they sent me photos from across the street. I reached out to the applicant. It was Freedom Fence that actually applied, that did the historic review application. They said that when they applied for the permit, the homeowner said, just go for it. It's fine. It's not in a historic district. And then when I got the permit, I said, no, this isn't a historic district. It should have come before the commission, but the fence had already been installed. It is installed according to the proposal, which was why staff was okay with it. So we'll vote on that. And I will give Hunter, our code enforcement inspector, a call in the morning and ask him to go take a look at the gazebo and the porch.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I'll make a motion that we vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the fence as installed.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Steve.
All righty, we'll do a voice vote on that one. Here we go. Chris?
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Marina,
Yes.
Mitch,
Yes.
Phoebe,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Steve,
Aye.
Vince,
Yes.
and Wendy.
Yes.
Perfect. Alrighty, we're all squared away with that one. Moving on, agenda item number 7. This is the Mond property at 1554 South Rolling Road in Relay, County Council District number 1. It's a contributing structure in the Relay County Historic District, MIP number BA2531, and their proposal is the Part 2 approval for the in-kind repair and replacements of wood fascia and cedar shingles. The homeowners are seeking approval for a tax credit application to complete in-kind repairs and replacement of the wood fascia and some of the cedar shingles on the home. The wood fascia is in need of repair due to woodpecker damage, so the homeowner is proposing to have the damage repaired, the holes filled with wood filler or caulk, and the fascia be repainted. The cedar shingles are in need of repair and replacement, as some of them have holes in them from the woodpeckers and others are broken and missing. The homeowner is proposing to have in-kind replacements done for the cedar shakes, only replacing those that are damaged. Staff's recommendation is to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness with the condition the fascia be repaired with a wood filler and not caulk, and vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the cedar shingle repairs and replacements as proposed, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, roofs page 10, facade materials page 2, and County Code section 112201.
Thank you, Taylor. Do we have the owner or a representative here with us tonight?
We have a call-in user, but I don't know what property they're with. The area code 302. I'm gonna unmute you, and if this is your property, let us know. If not, also let us know, so I'm gonna mute you. Hello.
Hi, no, it's not. It's not my property, no.
Okay, just making
Thank you
sure.
though, but no.
Thanks. Then no, the property owner is not online.
Okay. Is there discussion amongst the commission members? Are there any comments? With no comments, would anyone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. What's our, I'm looking for our, hold on. I was about to make a motion, but this one is, what number are we on? I forget, I'm looking up, I want to do it correctly. Which property?
7.
5?
Number 7.
Bottom of the PowerPoint screen.
Yeah, the bottom of the PowerPoint screen has.
Okay, there it is. Oh, yeah, okay. I move to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness with the condition the fascia be repaired with wood filler. Vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the cedar shingle repairs and replacement as proposed, citing Baltimore County Historic Guidelines, roofs, facade materials, County Code section 11.2.201.
Thank you, Ed. Is there a second?
Yep, I second it, Steve.
Thank you,
Perfect.
Steve.
And we'll go through the vote real quick. Chris,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Marina,
Yes.
Mitch,
Yes.
Phoebe, Ray,
Yes.
Rob,
Yes.
Steve,
Aye.
Vince,
Yes.
and Wendy.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you all. Alrighty, our last agenda item up for discussion, agenda item number 9. This is the Jedma Moore property at 1020 Windsor Road in Sudbrook Park, County Council District number 2. It's a contributing structure in the Sudbrook Park County Historic District, and their proposal is extensive exterior alterations. The homeowners are proposing significant exterior alterations to their home in Sudbrook Park. The current proposal is in response to comments provided by staff and the commission at the January 14th LPC meeting. Each of the proposals and the proposed materials are described in detail in the the alterations include the reconstruction of a missing historic front porch, the construction of a new glazed vestibule at the entry, the removal of existing vinyl siding and the installation of fiber cement lap and shingle siding, the replacement of existing windows, including the addition of 4 historic windows where they presently do not exist, the replacement of multiple doors, the replacement of an asphalt shingle roof with an architectural asphalt shingle roof, the removal of the 1910s addition and the construction of a new addition separated from the home with a hyphen, and the construction of a wooden deck. As a reminder from the January meeting, 1020 Windsor Road, also known as Cottage Number 4 in Olmsted's plan of Sudbrook Park, was constructed in 1889. It was constructed in a folk Victorian style with some Queen Anne and shingle style features, which is common in Sudbrook Park. These features, along with the mixed use of siding materials of clapboards and shingles and false half timberings in the gable end, can be seen in the 1890 historic photo provided by the applicant. A 10-foot kitchen addition was added to the rear of the home between 1913 and 1917 when it was winterized to be able to be used year-round. 1015 Windsor Road is a similar style home as 1020 Windsor Road. The applicants have used 1015 Windsor Road as a guide for making some of their alterations. The applicants have provided photos of 1015 Windsor Road in their application materials, and staff has provided additional photos from a recent real estate listing. Along with this, staff has provided a 1890 photo of cottage number 10 that has a similar style to cottage number 4, which is 1020 Windsor Road. As a note though, cottage number 10 has since been demolished. The following is a detailed scope of work the homeowners at 1020 Windsor Road are proposing at this time. Item 1 is the reconstruction of a missing historic front porch. At the January meeting, staff and the commission generally felt that this proposal was consistent with the design guidelines, but offered suggestions that the roof be an asphalt shingle roof instead of a standing seam metal roof, and requested that the post locations be confirmed to match the exact locations in the historic photograph to the extent possible. The adjustments the homeowner made now involve using wood materials as it's believed to be the original material, proposing an architectural asphalt shingle roof, and the roof and post locations have been revised to best match the original 1890 historic photograph. Item 2, the construction of a new glazed vestibule at the entry. At the January meeting, it was determined that the vestibule was generally in keeping with the style of the home. However, some alterations were recommended. Specifically, it was communicated that the style of the vestibule door should be more consistent with the original style of the Sudbrook Park cottages. In response to this, the homeowners have altered the style of the windows, doors, and transom for the vestibule. They reviewed homes in the neighborhood as well as historic photographs of Sudbrook Park cottages and found that the lights of the doors, windows, and transoms were much smaller and more square than originally proposed. The homeowners have made these alterations on their plans to be more consistent. Additionally, they have adjusted the size of the vestibule slightly to better align with the revised porch post locations. The homeowners have also clarified that they wish to relocate the front door inside the vestibule for best traffic flow inside, and that they are not proposing to add a window at the existing front door location. Work item 3 is the removal of existing vinyl siding and the installation of fiber cement lap and shingle siding. At the January meeting, staff and the commission were in favor of the replacement of the existing vinyl siding with hardy plank because it is a better and more appropriate material. They were in favor of the siding resembling the original style of the home, lap siding on the first floor and shingle on the second. As a result of wood remnants being found by the homeowners and examples of homes in the neighborhood with original siding, the homeowners are proposing Dutch lap 5-inch exposure hardy plank lap siding for the first floor. Staff did note that the brackets under the canted bay would be replaced based on the 1890 photo of the home and requested additional details on the material for the brackets. The brackets will be hand constructed out of wood by HPJ. Staff also noted that the 1890 photo showed an original gable decoration with false half timbers, a Queen Anne detail. The homeowners have clarified that adding the false timber detail back would require a different roof configuration and that water runoff may become problematic. Additionally, the homeowners have stated that using wood panels and false timbering would require frequent painting, which is not consistent with their goal of making the home more environmentally friendly. In response to these comments, however, the homeowners went and restudied the 1890s photograph of cottage number 10 and noticed either a small multi-light window or possibly a wooden vent that existed in the center of the gable. Such gable features are in several houses in the neighborhood, and the homeowners have now added a small shingle era style window to the gable. As a note, because the false timbering does not currently exist on the home, the homeowners are not required to add it back. Work item number 4 is the replacement of existing windows, including the addition of 4 historic windows where they presently do not exist. At the January meeting, staff noted that the 1890 photo of cottage number 4 did not clearly show the home's original window style, but that in general, the proposed Marvin Ultimate 6/1 windows were an improvement over the existing aluminum 6/6 windows. The homeowners were also proposing the replacement of the existing second floor bathroom window. However, the original location was not visible in the 1890s photo of cottage number 4. The homeowners have now provided a photo of cottage number 10 that shows one front window on the east side of the second floor, and they have revised their plan to show one window in that location. The style of all replaced and added windows has also been amended to a 9/1 style window, which to be more consistent with the historic photo of the original home and other original windows found in the neighborhood. Along with the window replacements, the homeowners proposed adding several windows to what was estimated to be the original locations. The commission was in favor of the addition of one window on the front in the original location, as it was clearly shown in the 1890 photo of cottage number 4. Staff did note that the lack of sufficient physical evidence of the original window openings on the west side, however, and requested more information on the proposed stairwell window on the second floor. The homeowners have now provided interior photos that show the original location of the back northmost second floor window. Additionally, they have communicated that the previous owner reported these windows were destroyed by a tree and were not replaced. Because the west wall in front south of the stairwell was destroyed, there is no physical evidence for original openings of the south first and second floor windows on the west wall, and there are no photos of the west sides of cottage number 4 or number 10. Because the general plan of 1015 Windsor Road appears to have been modeled after cottages 4 and 10, the homeowners at 1020 Windsor Road are using the window locations on the corresponding walls of 1015 Windsor Road to guide their placement. Additionally, the homeowners have no evidence for a second floor stairwell window on the original home. However, they are requesting it to provide light and highlight the original staircase of the house. Work item 5 is the replacement of multiple doors. At the January meeting, staff and the commission requested additional details on the need to replace the doors. The homeowners have provided labeled photos detailing the need for the replacement. In general, the doors are steel and have begun rusting in places. Additionally, they are not consistent with Sudbrook Park or the existing home, and the homeowners have redesigned them to be more consistent with both the district and the structure. Work item 6 is the replacement of an asphalt shingle roof with an architectural asphalt shingle roof. At the January meeting, staff requested additional information justifying replacement of the existing roof, and concerns were raised that the proposed standing seam metal roof was not appropriate for Sudbrook Park. The commission and staff agreed that an in-kind replacement of the asphalt shingles would be preferred. The homeowners have amended their proposal to install an architectural asphalt shingle roof and have provided photographs showing the deterioration and the need for replacement. Work item 7 is the removal of an existing 1910s addition and the construction of a new addition separated from the home with a hyphen. At the January meeting, overall, in terms of size, massing, scale, and location, there was a consensus that the addition was appropriate. However, concerns were raised about several features of the addition. In response, the addition has been extensively redesigned. First, the commission felt that, at least on the east side, the addition appeared to lengthen the house significantly and change the overall aesthetic. There were several suggestions for how to set the addition apart from the original house, including the use of a hyphen. The plans now show a hyphen separating the addition from the house on the east side, and the addition is set in from the main home on both sides. Second, the commission raised issue over the board and batten siding originally proposed. In response to this, and based on remnants of Dutch lap siding the homeowners found on the first floor, the homeowners are now proposing Dutch lap siding on both the first level of the main home and the addition. Third, the commission felt that the stone veneer was not appropriate and did not fit the aesthetic of the historic district, as it created a false sense of material. The homeowners are now proposing gray brick that is similar to the type of brick used in the columns of the foundation for the existing addition. Fourth, concerns were raised regarding the stainless steel cable rail for the green roof, specifically that it was too modern and not cohesive with the style of the home. In response, the homeowners have reduced the perimeter of the accessible area of the roof, so the railing will not be visible from the road. Finally, it was noted during the January meeting that the windows and doors were not consistent with the main home, and the homeowners have revised them accordingly. Work item number 8 is the construction of a wooden deck. The homeowners have provided additional details on the proposed deck as requested, and it will be constructed of all wood. Overall, staff is in support of the updated and amended plans as they have addressed all of our concerns raised at the January meeting. The proposals are consistent with the Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, as well as Sudbrook Park and the historic cottages found there. Staff commends the homeowners for their efforts in restoring the home to be as historically appropriate as possible and recommends approval for the plans as proposed. Staff's recommendation is to vote to issue a certificate of appropriateness, citing Baltimore County Historic Design Guidelines, porches and steps, pages 1, 2, and 4, facade materials, page 7, windows and doors, 2 through 8, roofs, 6 through 7 and 10, additions and infill, pages 2 through 4, National Park Service Technical Preservation Services, adding green roofs to historic buildings to enhance their sustainability and energy performance, and County Code Section 327-403.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you again. You had some challenging items this evening. Do we have the owner or owner's rep present for tonight?
Yes, they both, yes, present and unmuted.
Hello?
Hi, thanks for having us.
Well, welcome. What would you like to offer?
Well, we would like to commend Taylor and staff for processing all of that. It was a lot. And we agree with everything that was described. And we thank as a result of your comments, we did a lot of sort of exploratory demolition and investigation that was a lot of fun. And we wouldn't have done that otherwise. And we really think it improved things. So we thank you guys for the process.
Thank you. Thank you for investing a lot in this property and building. Is there anybody else that is going to speak on your behalf?
Megan or Philip might be here. I can't see.
Yeah, I'm here. This is Philip Jones from the architect, but I don't really have anything to add.
If I could add one thing, so one thing we did just this past week with regard to that little window that's in the gable area, Hank went over to a house that has a part of the house is very similar in layout or basically in design as ours. They had a little vent in that spot, but they allowed Hank to go up into the attic and really kind of see what it was. But it had been a window similar to the one that we've proposed now. It's the little tiny window that's in the gable up front.
So that would be in Cottage 30, which is on Howard Street.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the exact number. It's Dr. Locke's home.
Thank you for that additional information. Is there any discussion amongst the commission members? Any comments?
I just have a question for staff. Is the cottage number 10 the yellow one that you showed? Because you're comparing this house with the cottage number 10, and I just wanted to make sure that is the yellow one.
No, cottage number 10, we just had a historic photo of that. It no longer exists. I'm not sure the original number of the yellow house is 1015 Zero Road, which is down the street.
Okay.
I'd like to say something. I'd just like to commend them. I think they've done an amazing job. Looks great.
Thank you, Ed.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'll second that. I really think it's much improved over the last one. And I just wanted to offer one practical suggestion is that you put a gate in your second floor railing to get out and maintain your green roof, because it's not maintenance free. And otherwise you'd have to put up a ladder every time. So.
Thank you. That's a great idea.
That's good advice. Thanks.
As you can tell from the last time, we're a bit naive on certain things. Yeah.
Thank you, Chris. Any other commission members?
Yes, this is Rob Brennan. And I would also want to commend you for responding to our comments. I think it's good. It's better than where we started, and I think the neighborhood will certainly appreciate it. I, of course, have a few finer points for consideration. Do we know for a fact that the boarding in the gable is not there? Has it been covered up, perhaps?
Yeah, we are positive that the entire front gable has been replaced. I tried to take some pictures from inside our own attic, and due to the lighting conditions, it wasn't particularly visible, but it's all new pine, it's plywood,
Okay.
and there's nothing there.
Okay, I was just going to make the comment that if you were to discover it, it would be, perhaps fortunate to retain it. So,
I think in general we will retain each and every board that we uncover. Unfortunately, we uncover more. So far, we have uncovered more vinyl and other construction disasters from the 80s than original boards.
And then another sort of finer design point, the new windows appear to be slightly shorter than the original windows, maybe 6 inches or so. I think that causes the porch roof to be a little steeper as you try to hit the same point on the window. So if you look at the renderings of the porch compared to this original shot, I don't know if you can scroll forward. There it is. So the roof seems a little bit steeper, and it kind of throws the proportions off a bit. Again, a finer point that if you were to discover the windows were actually taller, you might opt to do taller windows as well.
Yeah, we did some exploration on the porch that is currently there, and there we can see on the east side some old or likely original sort of rafters that supported it, and
Yes.
I based the angle of this particular porch off those original angles. So that's it might be the sort of point of perspective of the current rendering that sort of skews the image a little bit.
Okay. Well, it's good if you have that documentation. That's great. And then if you also look in the that sort of sleeping porch area, the fascia board, the rake board is broken in the original photo. If you were to,
What do you mean by sleeping porch?
the area, the one with the shuttered window above the porch there.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You can see that roof is actually separated from the fascia, the rake board, band board of the main roof.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of an offset there. That's a small detail, but perhaps without changing much, you could scoot that back 6 inches or so. So these are all just suggestions.
Thank you.
And the porch posts, as they land on the porch, in plan, they appeared to be skewed in different directions. I don't know if we can get the existing or new floor plan up. They look good there in plan. You can see left side lower there that they're kind of at different angles, and I don't know if there's a trim thing you're going to do to make them appear more engaged with the structure.
I'm not entirely sure that I understand your comment.
I don't know if you can zoom in.
Yeah, they're engaged with the beams, so they're kind of framed like a traditional like 8-sided gazebo.
Mm-hmm.
So the columns are rotated basically 22.5 degrees.
Right.
They're all basically pointing at the center of the structure of where the gazebo would be.
And do we think it was that way originally? Best you can determine?
Well, I don't know how you join the beams at the edge of the porch roof to the columns in a clean way if they're not done that way.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Brennan, do you have an idea? We looked for porches with similar posts, and we couldn't find any. So all the rest of the cottages that still exist that even have gazebo posts, the gazebos are fancier, the posts are fancier, because this cottage was much more modest than other cottages. And so if just based on your historical knowledge, if you know how the posts were oriented, we could work with that.
Well, I think many times you had the actual structural post, and then if there was trim that framed over it that made it more regular. And I think you pick, I'm looking here at your renderings. It's hard to tell where I guess the edge of the post would be on the seam between the breaks and the angles. And the question would be, does that telegraph back to the back side of it? So yeah, I can't think of anything specifically I could recommend you look at, but I'd just raise it as a point of discussion maybe.
Okay.
As you move forward. Then I wanted to ask about the chimneys. I know in the photos we can see a gable chimney and then a main house chimney, and I assume those have all disappeared. There is one shown in your on your front elevation there, but that could be, that doesn't come down through the house. It doesn't appear to anyway.
No, that's a
It's-
faux chimney.
Faux chimney,
It is
okay.
a sheet metal with brick pattern chimney, unfortunately.
It's a sparrow house, though.
Okay.
But we actually, that was something that, since we hadn't discussed it so much last time, we didn't put a change in because we didn't know what to do exactly. But we thought we would try to replicate the main house chimney that's in the back where there's a pipe now. We'll make that look like a historic chimney.
Great. That was it for my comments.
Thank you, Rob. Any other members care to comment?
I move that we accept staff recommendations as presented.
Thank you, John. Is there a second?
Second, Steve.
Thank you. Who made the second?
Steve.
Steve?
Yep.
Tara, do we want to do a voice vote?
Yes, any further discussion before we do that? No? Okay, great. We will go through that. The motion is to issue a certificate of appropriateness for the plans as proposed. Chris?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Marina?
Yes.
Mitch?
Yes.
Phoebe?
Yes.
Ray?
Yes.
Rob?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Vince?
Yes.
And Wendy?
Yes.
Perfect. Passes.
Motion carries, and I believe that is the last item for discussion.
Yes, a few things for staff to report on. The following historic property tax credit applications were approved by staff as an emergency repair or due to the receipt of Part 2 approval for work reviewed by MHT. The Wells property at 15 Glendon Avenue in Glendon, they received MHT approval for the repair and replacement of exterior features and the repainting of all wood exterior features. The O'Hara property at 1603 South Rolling Road, that was staff's emergency approval for the electrical repairs. And the Thomas property at 53 Dunkirk Road in Rogers Forge, they received MHT approval for the in-kind replacement of broken and deteriorated slate roof tiles, the in-kind replacement of all gutters, downspouts, fascia, and soffits, and the stripping and repainting of original interior doors and radiators covers due to lead paint. Some other business for staff to report on Monday, March 1st, County Council will be holding a public hearing for the addition of the Christ Evangelical Lutheran Church to the final landmarks list. It's going to be a public hearing held after the council meeting, and it's going to be via WebEx. Staff will be there to offer feedback to the council, but just in case anyone was interested in joining, you're more than welcome to, but not required. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Taylor. Any other comments or any other issues the members would like to bring up? Any news? You can tell I'm digging.
It snowed.
It sure did.
But Wendy is finally with you. This is my first meeting that I've gotten all the way on.
Congratulations.
Miracle.
So would anybody like to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Steve.
Okay. Well, looks like we're adjourning. The motion passes and
Do we have a second?
Second, Rob.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Drive safe. Have a good month. And maybe we'll see you in passing.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.